Hi everyone, as a part of covering 100 plus Spring Boot annotation series, today we are going to cover the next annotation in this series, which is @import annotation. So in this video, we will see how to use @import annotation in Spring Boot application. So @import annotation is used to include additional configuration classes or component classes into the current application context. I hope you already know that wherever the Spring Boot application class present in your package, from there the same level or the sub packages classes will be included in the IOC container, which is the default behavior of component scanning. And those classes which comes under the scanning, those classes will be registered in the IOC container. But what will happen that you have a different package which is not inside the same package where your main application or Spring Boot application class is present. In that case, if your class is in different package, then the component scan will not scan that class and that bean will not be registered. So in that case, you can use @import annotation where you can specifically mention that I want this configuration classes bean to be registered in IOC container. So in that case, the @import annotation is used. So now if you will read this definition, so the @import annotation in Spring is used to include additional configuration classes or component classes into the current application context. It helps modularize and manage configuration by allowing one configuration class to import others, which will promote the reusability and separation of concern. Now let's see a code example to understand @import annotation. So in the last video we have created a few classes. We will reuse those classes. So here we have a custom configuration class which is in the Spring annotation package, and my main class which is the entry point of our Spring application, which is inside the Spring annotation. So all the classes which are at the same level or inside the package sub packages, which is the part 4, those classes will be used in the component scan. Now I also have a different modules which is external module, whereas I have some classes. So these classes will not be registered in IOC container because those classes are not marked inside this Spring annotation. So a very basic thing what we can do to check whether these classes are registered in this bean or not. So here if I use class A, I have a very simple class A, which I will use at the component, so that this class will be registered as a bean. Now what I can do inside this Spring Boot application, there I can use class A dot class and see whether the class A type of class bean is registered in the IOC container or not. So if I run this application, and if any of the bean with the type class A is registered in the context, then it should print the name. So if I run this program, so let's see what will be printed in the bean definition name. So now if you see the array is empty, that means the class A is not registered in the context. So now if you want to register, so in that case, what you can do? So here @import annotation comes into picture. So what we will do here, we will use, so in the external module, I have created a configuration class, separate configuration class, which is app config, which is annotated with @configuration. And there I am explicitly configuring a bean for class A. So what I will do, I will remove component from this class. And now in my Spring annotation package, where we have custom configuration, I will use here @import. And there I will specify my class, which is app_config.class. So now here in this Spring annotation package, I'm specifically configuring that I want to use the beans which is defined inside this class to be registered in the IOC container. So now if I rerun this application and see, now this time this array should not be empty. There bean class A should be there. So now we can see here we have class A being registered in the IOC container. So this is the very simple use case of @import, where you can use any other configuration class to register in the current context. Now there is one more thing here. So here we can also pass a simple class as well. So here in the class A, which is not annotated with component, but now if you want to register this class A bean in the custom configuration without this app config, what we can do, we can directly pass the class name here as well. So here if I pass class A dot class, so now this time also this bean array should not be empty. The class A bean should be registered in the IOC container. So here even we are not declaring any annotation over the class, but still the bean will be initialized. So here you can see the class A bean is registered in the IOC container. So this is the simple use case of @import. But now if you are preparing for a senior Java developer role and you want to know some advanced concept in the import, so this we will discuss here. So the first thing, which is custom import selector. So let's suppose you want to import the classes but with a simple specific condition, or maybe like if that particular property is there in the properties file, then only register this bean or register the other beans. So in that case where you want to import the classes based on some condition, there the custom import selector comes into picture. So for that, what we can do, you can create a class which will implement the import selector interface, which where you have to override a method select imports, and you have to pass this annotation metadata, and inside this you have to pass all the beans that you want to register. So here in this I am using a string array and I am defining class a bean to be registered. Now this class we can pass into our custom configuration. So here if you will custom import selector dot class, even in that case as well, because we have given inside this custom import selector, we have specified that I want to register a class a bean. So then you can see inside this array we are seeing class a bean is registered in the IOC container. So this is import selector. Now second scenario where you can use at that import with registrar. So I have a class custom registrar which is implementing import bean definition registrar interface, and there you have to override register bean definition which have two argument, and there you have to create a bean definition builder of your class which is class a in our case, and then we can mark this builder using and get a bean definition, and then this with a specific bean name you can register in the bean, and this class we can pass custom registrar in the custom configuration. So even in that scenario, because we are specifically mention our bean with my class a, or maybe I can change this to ABC so that we can see the difference. And if I rerun this program, then ABC should be there in the array of the bean definition name. So if you see the array, inside this array we have ABC which we have given here. As usual, I have mentioned all the things that we have discussed in this video in a document, which is where we have what is the use of annotation, how internally it works, then what are the parameter that we can pass. Like here we can pass import with the class name with and import with a simple name. Then we have this import selector, then we have import bean registrar, and then some important scenario based interview question. So the one that we have discussed, like if you want to register a bean based on some condition, then you can specify this import selector or import bean definition register. So this is all thing we have in this video. If you have any doubt in this video, you can comment. I will try to resolve ASAP. And if you like this video or if you find this video useful, do share it with your friends.